What's up, guys? Welcome. Mr. Mark right down there. Got some books that we can play. Make sure you put your number in case you never in. We'll be pulling all day. Watch files. Yeah, I'm back. Cool. Next one will be at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock.
Okay, when I'm thinking back, this is the looking at comparison. Look around you, you're reacting and you gotta go on. Take a photograph of something, document it, and it's so, take a picture. And you're like, that's the picture with that. It's not a thing, I mean, the thinking is like, additional part. When the opportunity, you might respond.
What's up, guys? Say hello. 3 people in the chat. Say hello. Still all the giveaways. Giveaways have moved up to every 15 minutes. There we have it. Our next giveaway is 5 minutes. So we're a YouTube channel. We rank your top 4 things: movies, TV, video games, all that kind of stuff. And we're giving away all these things if you sign up. The next drawing is in like 5 minutes. So, no cash. If you want to check out the show, that's our show. You spin the wheel, you can get on the show. And we'll do a question and we'll put on the show. We are actually live right now. You're live right now. The next one is at 2 o'clock. Wait, yeah, 2 What's up, guys? Hey, Barry. What's up, man? Thanks for the word this morning and help me get ready to preach Sonic 3. Yeah, we did Sonic 3 today, so. Hey, guys. All this stuff. But all that stuff is going on today. With the base. Yep, the base came from those. And they donated. It's just a door prize. It's amazing things. All of you out here.
And finally, in 2001, and they said, if you don't have a charity, somebody told me that what's happening is going to try to
Put your name and number. Spin the wheel, and you win. I take you out. Say hello, Mary. What's up, Mary? Hello, Mary. You sign up. Just camera shot. Huh? You have to tell him to stand in front of the camera. There we go.
Yeah.
We're giving away the $3.30 or so. We're giving away the base. Movies, nostalgia, sports, music, TV. I think there's an want to come join us too? Want to join? Want to collab? Any of that stuff? But let's see. It's 2 o'clock right now, huh? You don't have to put your phone number if you're still here, but if you're here for some of this other stuff, you're going to be out. Here we go. This one is Jones and one of our good friends is right down there. And I believe he signed them. Auto. No, but you can go down there and get autographs. Say you want them. Signed up. 29. This right here, that's the same comic book. He's my man right down here at the end of this aisle. Okay. All right. And he's got 3 comic books. And just tell him that you want it at the bar. And tell him I tell him to sign. Okay. Tell him to sign. Yeah, I'll talk to him. So call 129. Next will be 2:15.
Well, I haven't seen what the movies I'm trying to find the line stories. I'm also reading a confidential video and also trying to the first is And that's the way it becomes in the world. have a few minutes, please, with the action. Go ahead and work on over here. Oh, well, you have to be there and you go through It's a hard time finding Sonic figures that target the walls of the city for some considerable figures. Bring up in response to what's up for the community. Sometimes it's a block of eight really tough to make it in the facts. Even though check community markets all over the community. Chad, I'm sorry, even though that, you know, I have a few years ago, used to be able to go, sometimes I kind of feel like some of the movies that I've done, that was looking for a minute, and you gotta understand the difference. Well, it's almost not here, I do. If you might have any more items to look at. For the next person. This one. The rare, what's not always say the rarest principle meaning would be like someone who tells you how you get someone who does something like that. But those are next to possible planning. And it is rare today, and like I said, I love when I do hard work, and they're doing.
Eighteen is winner.
Here's the thing. Well, I just want to say thank you for coming to see our panel. I thought Sonic with me. I appreciate it. Thank you to the Louisiana Retro Con Winter for inviting me on my video. And me about Sonic the Hedgehog. I think it's appreciated too much that we when the first got when I first got here in my book, years in the show, I never thought it would turn into this. I never got this many weeks to come here for the level for it. It's great. I really thank you for all of my calls. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Alright. Next giveaway is 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Also, next year, you got our kids. Winner is one of these 3 books here. So you get to pick one of these 3 books right here. So these 2 books are from our horror writer right there, Mark. And this book right here is from Daniel Johnson. At the end of this all he's got 3 issues to this. So marks are signed right there, and that's him. And he'll probably put his John Hayes back on. All right, so you talk to Daniel. So you were the winner of the next one, and he is at the end. I think he's the last booth on the right. Yep, you'll see the Saints all over. Yep. So the next one is at 2:30. Huh? No, it hadn't booked. Well, no. So that was 18.
So do you take out the numbers I got? Numbers are too much.
So we started about 3 years ago. Both Andy and I, my co-host, we were like best friends for YouTube. We're youth pastors. I moved out of our church. That's the youth pastor to be a missionary in the city. So I did all the things throughout the city. He took over the youth ministry back here in Louisiana. So once they connected, we just started talking. You've heard the idea of a game Rushmore, like they, if you're listening to the talking sports, so like who's the Rushmore, who's your Rushmore order, right? So here's the deal: if you live anywhere in New York, you're probably not telling me that Tom Brady's the Rushmore. One, you're just playing all the time. Two, you're giant eating twice, so you're probably not telling me. So, and that's fine. I wouldn't have it on my list either. But here's the thing: what we've said is that Rushmore is our person. This is your Rushmore. It doesn't have to be the world's Rushmore. So when you come on our show, you'll say you'll pick a topic. We do a new topic every 2 months. We're in video games right now. So yes, Thursday night live, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook. All right, so we're live Thursday night. Jump on. We usually have people joining in, 45, 50 people. It's getting bigger and bigger. So last week's was top 4 Genesis games of all time. Right? And so we discussed it for about an hour, 2 hours, whatever, just however long the chat goes and however long the talk. So then next week, it's next Thursday, we have 2 of our Christian friends coming on the review. How you did the review. And then we have the last 3 episodes was probably 3 that I'm excited of all 30, 40, 50,000 subscribers channel. So, thank you. Mort's Crouch, RNG Gamer, right there. It's called the Retro Con. Retro Card Collector, who's on the Weekend War Fight, and they're coming on top of you. They're like one of the most underrated Nintendo 64 gamer. The hardest games of all time. And the last easy Mario. And in March and April, we're going to jump to music. We have music almost completely booked. Then 2 more months later, we go to movies and TV. We have the blockbuster with you. That's in July and August, we do flashback. It's all nostalgia. So all things from our childhood, then sports, then food, then back to video games. 2 months. Right? We're both you passion. So what we do is dating. So we Rich Word through Sonic 3. So we did that here. Last week, we were at Rich Word, Marvel versus He asked me to reach the so and then what we do. So that's so for instance, Sonic 3. Whoa, what? Alright, so Sonic is on Supersonic anymore. Sonic 2. He's like, I'm done. Shadow shows up. We find out Shadow's been away for a while. He comes back. He's back. Because everybody's gone. And he lost everything, so he starts going on time. There we go. Before I was saved, which I got saved like 30, 40s now, about 15, 20 years ago, I would come to these things and walk around and see Christians that were outside. It's saying we shouldn't be here, like, things on and that's it. Jesus never said, I'm going to say, I'm going to be a good example to all my friends. Anything minus love is nothing. Anything minus love is nothing. So, Jesus is love. So, you got to bring that in and say, Jesus, everything. I love what you're doing, and also what I did not do. So, we decided to form friends, and that's and all of those messages that we've done are online on our YouTube channel. So you can check it out. That's and so we had our main these things. Slaughter one because these things. We had meat on because these things. Just go around and be awesome with these people. You heard that we So what we did, we call it Sonic Spot. You come on and join the partnership Sonic Spot, Rushmore. And we actually get us your top 4. People don't know, so they make one of these. Then you get trolls that show up and think whatever we shoot them. And yeah, it's just. So this is the part, you guys are stickers too. So this is us. You go to the link tree, brings you to all our socials. Right? There's the actual YouTube there. You can actually scan that over and get to the link tree. Then you flip that around. This is Andy. Andy is a girl dad. He has 3 daughters, and he shows the life of his hanging out with his kids. And this Retro Con, that's my son. And he explained video games, all video games, retro games for the first time. He has things like that. And that's me and him. So these are the channels. So yeah, that's us, man. That's awesome. Yeah. Send money to South Dakota every time you say, no, I do not. No, I do not. So we're live right now. So that's the chat right there. Some of the folks talking. Yeah. So, see you on Thursday. We just gave away those books. Somebody just won those books from there.
It's fun.
So now we have our special panel that we going up there shortly. So
Sue's back. Back again. Let me say this real quick.
Ryan Drummond, David Humphrey, Scott Lyle, and Mike Pollock, they're all going to be there. About 5 to 10 minutes.
So you guys just in target. So the two trolls guys, gaming, they are about that Ghostbuster flag. If you do me a favor, just go down there and tell them that you want it. That you appreciate it. Thanks so much. Got about 5 drawings left.
Yeah, I signed up yesterday.
That's kind of a good. Oh, it's okay because now you're in for the good stuff.
So much going on. See, if you give me, one of these, the other one of these two, and our last two.
Why we love you. A lot more out of this. A lot of it.
It's like two like
I'm sorry, Bobby. Like,
fell off the same. Exactly. That's right. Come on.
I wrote down the bottom that you mentioned. Would you? Sounds great. Thank you.
All right, next time, spinning. It's a mercy. The best. You out here?
I'm not just, I gotta go spend, I'm spending money now and I'm gonna grab people's cards. And yeah, well, it's, I've got a little bit.
things up. Somebody gets one. Onyx Lagoon. Onyx.
Oh, the boat one?
Guy who wants money.
Oh, okay.
And I just rolled down with things out. I'm about to send him a message.
What do you win?
Next one is the other book. And then Founder. In just a few moments, we will have the necessary song actors. We'll get to the once in a lifetime opportunity. Because when I said we're going to Louisiana, we're going to see the very first Louisiana. Yes, in fact, the very first Louisiana. The beginning of spiritual rather than myself, Sonic the Hedgehog. With an honor to be able to help it. So, we're going to get that started. We don't want this to stand. Be sure to know the great question. Guys, we're not going to do all. So it's a good thought. So, ask the question. This is the oh, also,
Hey guys, so the Sonic guys are about to come on stage. I'm going to flip it around and see if you guys can watch. Yeah, there it is.
That's also the thing that they so
Check. Check. Hey, there's no time to wait. All right, so that was actually not Sonic, that was Team Sonic, your host, yourself. Hello. Hi, how are we doing? Awesome. So, I had the pleasure of getting to know some of my best friends for life, but I never knew I would get to have 20 years later. As a child, 6 years old, I'm sure many of y'all have this similar experience.
You probably either had the Dreamcast, if you didn't have the Dreamcast, you had a Nintendo GameCube playing Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, having a blast during these iconic scenes and voices, and getting to see them in the flesh is a totally different thing from seeing them on the screen. So enough of my banter. I would just like to introduce these wonderful souls to all of you guys personally, one at a time. We're going to do it kind of similar, if you like wrestling, then it's kind of like that. We'll have an anthem, and we'll do a big announcement. They're going to come up and double steer. We're going to get the 20-foot here, boys. Dr. Eggman by I'm like, this guy doesn't chuckle, but he's a big head. So are you ready? Mr. Scott, see you. I know what y'all really waiting for. So, y'all ready to live and learn a little bit? Let me introduce the people. Sonic the Hedgehog, Ryan Drummond, and David Humphrey. Thanks for coming out, everybody. We appreciate you being here. Welcome to the OG cast. Those of you who were born before 1998 are like, who are these old fellas up on stage? We're the stuff of your parents' dreams. Yay. We appreciate you guys being here. We thought we'd start today. Yesterday, if you were here, we kind of like opened the floor up to questions right away. But before we started that today, we thought we'd tell you a couple of stories, maybe from back in our experience in working for the Blue Hedgehog. And because these are stories that we get asked about all the time, so we thought, well, maybe we'll just kind of tell them in this grand format. And we're going to start by passing the mic to the one and only Scott Dreier, the original voice of Knuckles, because he's going to tell you a story about some profanity. Am I on? Yeah. How's everyone doing? I'm so excited to be here, guys. Thank you so much. You just all collectively want to say none of this exists without the beautiful, beautiful Sonic fans. You guys are epic, and we love you with all of our hearts. Thank you. Thank you. So this is something I've been asked multiple times today, yesterday, and someone said, please tell us from the stage. And so I'm going to tell it. This went viral on TikTok, so I'm going to share this. Sonic Heroes. Everyone asks me, what did you say? Did you say shift, rock, yeah, or the F missing? So this is the true story, guys. I know this sounds like folklore, but I remember I will never forget this hour in the studio in my entire life. I had given my performance of that. I had done a shit, rock, yeah. I had done all of that. And then in the control room, they muted me for a moment. What felt like an hour was probably in reality 6 or 7 minutes. And finally, they came over, the interpreter came over, and Lonnie came over, our director, and said, hey, Scotty, can we ask you a favor? And I said, sure. And they said, so we're at a time in the games where we don't swear. We're not swearing. But we would love for you to make that pet as soft as you can, so that people will wonder if you are swearing. And I gotta tell you, it's hard to give that performance and do that.
And so it took about an hour and I kept getting to the performance, but I will tell you what I do remember is the moment where that was soft enough for everybody and everyone in the control room, all the producers started applauding and clapping and giggling like we are sneaking this bad word in. So, true story, now when people come up to me years later and say, you have to solve this mystery, what did you say? Shit rock yeah or shit rock yeah? My answer is always yes.
Finally, you laid that to us. I know I've been wondering that for 30 years. Mike Pollock, the one and only Eggman. Do you have a story or two from all your years in the trenches? I'm going to tell the story of the time I got yelled at. I had a day job at the time and would take lunch hours, much to my boss's dismay, to go and look for stuff at work days. And one day I had a couple of back-to-back sessions with some space in between, so I was going to go sit at Starbucks and do some day job work while from Starbucks. This person, I don't want to say a bunch of much, from online said, I did in New York, I did in New York, I meet you. Well, as it happens, yes, I'll have some downtime, come by Starbucks and have a chat. We did, possibly against my better judgment, and it turned out that she really wanted to know what Dan Green was like. No, really, Dan Green's very nice. Is he in town today? I don't know. I don't know. We said our goodbyes. Well, if you excuse me, I'm not going in for it's now to do a session. They followed me along, and we stopped in the lobby where the security was. Well, I'm going up now, and you're not. So I went into my session, came out of the session, and the office manager was there and called me aside and said, Mike, did you say someone could come up here for a tour? No, I was with someone and we met at Starbucks and they went away, didn't they? No, they came up at the next elevator and asked for a tour. And we don't have tours here. This is a place of business. Well, yeah, I said, tell them to come up for the tour. Came up, asked for a tour. I got in trouble and I got arrested. I didn't invite anyone anywhere near that. Thank you very much.
Who has the audacity to yell at Eggman? That's not right. That is so not right. You're sitting here trying to think of stories. She had something you do? Oh, Leighton has a story. And the devil made a snow cone. Tell us all about it. Yes, no, I do have a story. So, doing Shadow, coming in for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, very first ever voiceover work ever. So, to be able to do Shadow was pretty overwhelming for myself. And I'm also, I think as we all are, we're all perfectionists in this craft that we put ourselves into. But I'm such a perfectionist that I get really mad at myself. And then I start getting worse in the booth than I could. And so I finally lost my mind one day. There's multiple days I lost my mind. He's got to start with that and he tells it better. But another time I lost my mind, like, let's take a break. The sound engineer took me outside and he's like, what do you need to calm down? I said, I have no idea. Just give me a second. And he's like, well, just check in here. See if any of this will help. And I opened this cabinet and there was some whiskey in there. So I had just one, but I had a shot of whiskey and it relaxed everything. Relaxed the core, relaxed the throat, relaxed my brain. And from that point forward, before I record in the studio, I have one shot of whiskey to get me through the door. You're welcome. So for those of you who've always wondered, what is Shadow?
It's whiskey. Okay, on the YouTube. So some of you have heard this story before. I'm just kind of thinking about memorable moments from recording the games. And there's one story that kind of comes up often. So I'm sure some of you have heard it. So forgive me if you're hearing it for a second or maybe eighth time. But when we were recording for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, we actually had the luxury and the challenge of an entire contingency of producers from Japan who flew over from Japan to Southern California to be there for the recording sessions. And while this was very cool and a very interesting kind of situation to be in, it was also challenging at times because these producers didn't speak any English at all. And they were there to critique lines being performed in America. And so the fun part was is that these 5 producers, or sometimes people say 9, there was between 5 and 9, I'm not sure. They all had one translator that they talked through. So every time you would perform a line, you give it to them a few times, and then all the producers would talk through this one translator, and then the translator would give you notes on what they said so you could do it better the next time. And the one thing that I remember from that session is that I was doing this one line, and I don't remember what it is, and that doesn't really matter. It's not part of the story. But whatever it was, all the Japanese producers had a lot to say about it. And they talked to that translator for probably an entire minute of just talking about all the things that they thought that I should do with this line. And then the translator came into the booth with me and he said, okay, they said do it faster but slower. He said, I don't know how to do that. And the translator just said, I don't know, man, just do something different. So I went back in the booth and I did the line a little bit different, and I looked through the window in the recording booth, and all the producers were going, ah, oh. So that was an experience of working with too many cooks in the kitchen. And like Scott was saying, thank goodness for our director, Ryan Manella, who was there to kind of head off all those problems. Because the director can help you in those situations sometimes. So it was a fun experience, and we had no idea, we'll make it Scott, but most of us had no idea that we'd be here over 20 years later talking to you guys about it. So like we said earlier, thank you so much for being such good fans and friends of the Little Blue Hedgehog. It's because of you that we're here doing what we do. So we told a few stories, of course, full slap for that.
Can I pop in here?
Yeah, you love in here.
I just want to take a moment. For us, this is our first alleged appearance ever in Louisiana. I'm going to give a big shout out to everyone that has worked so hard and has been so kind to us. Come on, Louisiana Retro Con, how epic has this weekend been?
Today and the whole crew.
With all of our hearts, thank you guys.
And if someone had told me how good the catfish here is, I would have come earlier. Okay. Do we have some help from our friends here? We'd like to open the floor to you guys, because I'm sure you've got some burning questions in your mind about things you've always wanted to ask Sonic, Shadow, Knuckles, or Eggman. And we might be able to answer them for you today. So, oh, there he is. He's got the microphone. If you got a question, now is the chance.
Alright, so in Sonic Adventure 2, there were a bunch of lines that were just Japanese words said. How did they determine which ones would actually get translated? It's something. Eggman don't get saying, oh.
Can we hear the question again? All we hear is feedback.
I think I got it. So he's wondering specifically about the Japanese words. How did Sega decide which one for the Japanese?
Ah, good question. Yeah. Who wants to tackle that one?
I can at least start for me. I think there was always a combo ladder of things. Like for me, it was very important to them that I do the like every one of that was the homage to the Japanese version. I loved that we did a mixture of both. But like climbing, I remember like they wanted us to do the
And we were like, no, I think we would climb, like how we would climb is, we would climb like we would really climb. So I always felt, and to be honest, guys, I always felt like it was a combo platter of paying homage to what had come before, which I loved, and honoring the Japanese version, but then also introducing it to American audiences.
Yeah, not quite an Easter egg, but more like a sunny side up egg. Yeah.
You mentioned eggs, and you're a poet.
Oh, yeah. Well, we can do something.
Well, Sonic the Hedgehog, your most favorite thing about voice acting itself?
Our most favorite voice acting with Sonic. Oh, besides the money. Working at Sega.
Taking back to the back, that's nice.
That is nice.
Yeah, just to be honest, the money wasn't great, but to get the opportunity to be a part of such a wonderful franchise and to be able to work with my friends, it doesn't get better, so that's probably the most.
Yeah, we don't want to sit up here and throw dirt about Sega, but I will say one nice thing about them. They're always really nice. And it's Scott always reminds us that being kind in this business takes you a long way. So anybody who's nice, you're great in my book. But you did sometimes get to do really cool things with Sega. Like, as an example, back in the day, I don't know how many of you remember Rosie O'Donnell. Anybody remember Rosie O'Donnell? Oh, bunch of people. Yeah. Big ups to the people born in the 70s. She used to have a talk show, and back in the day. And every holiday season, she would have a Toys for Tots ride on her show. And one year, she decided to give away 10,000 Sonic the Hedgehog plushies to kids in need. Great charity, great cause. And Sega called me, I was living in Southern California, and said, we would like you to fly to New York to be on the Rosie O'Donnell show to provide the voice for the costume character who's going to present these 10,000 Sonic plushies to Rosie O'Donnell. Now, the funny part was, well, the great part is that Sega treated me very well at San Diego, at a nice hotel. They gave me some nice little swag bags, took me out to dinner. That was all very nice. The funny part is that when I got to the Rosie O'Donnell show, they had to set up a speaker so that Rosie could hear me speaking. So the costume character came out on stage and she was like, "Hi, Sonic, how are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, and she started talking over me. And then I realized that every time I talked to her, she couldn't hear me. So basically, she didn't know that Sonic was talking. And so I'm on national television talking to someone who's completely ignoring me. So that was awesome. Thanks, Sega.
I've never heard that theory before.
That's a true one. Yeah.
And that was mine, but it was really good.
Okay.
Here's another one for, what's your favorite recording or the one that you have the most
Favorite live recording, the most funny. Who wants to start?
All of them, and all of them being answered. Just random lines make me laugh because sometimes I'm pixel. And I will take it just 2 or 3 minutes to recover. But probably memorable is the top of the line yelling,
I made it just need a little bit. Everybody have a favorite line?
Probably my very first one that I recorded. I do it.
I always look in low stuff. So I was like, big, long time means, and it's about half a month.
And my favorite lines are always my favorites because they're your favorites. So again, first line is always iconic.
Yeah, this is exactly.
That's our favorite.
stop button.
I have watched some of that, and I sit there and laugh just like y'all do. I think it's really, really. So my hat's off to them. I can't say I have a favorite moment because I've only watched one of them. I have a 14-year-old son who usually keeps me up on all those things. He's like, "Yeah, you got to see this," and he sends me a link to it, and I watch it once, I enjoy it, and move on. But yeah, that line is not too bad. Yeah, I like that.
And same answer for me. I've seen it, I've watched it. I don't have a favorite moment, but it's very, very funny.
Very creative, those people.
I'm actually,
I will change my answer because it's worth noting that dozens of people have asked me to say that, and I could get into it. If I did. So I made my own video saying, no.
Yeah, there's some things you just can't say.
Yeah. Thank you, Brax. Great job.
That's fun watching you.
All right, what are your thoughts on your character's portrayal in the movie?
Thoughts on characters betrayal unfortunately in the movie? What do you think about the movie kind of stuff? You want to talk about some characters?
Someone likes enough to hire him, so I'm not going to second guess that and say, that wasn't a good choice. That's the wonderful thing about our profession, is it's all a matter of somebody taking us out of the field with people. So, Paramount likes him, I like him.
How many people can walk around this planet saying, yeah, Jim Carrey plays in the movie? Not too shabby. So what do you think about this album?
I've always been a fan of his before he took on Knuckles. But for me, I love the soul. But you know, I love every single person who has done their version of Knuckles. I feel like they're creating beautiful homage, which I'm humbled by, but everyone has found their own way, which I also think is what we do with our husbands. So I love it when people get flocked to it. I love it all of them flock to it.
And David, not too shabby with Keanu Reeves.
yeah, it's pretty good. It's the names that I've heard they were gonna possibly be Shadow. I was not really happy with, and then they came and decided it was Keanu Reeves. I'm like, okay, yeah, I accept that choice, and I thought he did a nice job, and I just love it. There's enough work out there for all of us. And hopefully they'll ask us to do a cameo or something in the next movie, but I understand why they didn't use David Humphrey as Shadow. So I'm not going to bring in everybody, a big box office number. You guys would all be there, of course.
I could see it twice, you're right. And I can't think of anybody better than Ben Schwartz. Not only is his comedic timing is of course impeccable. If you haven't seen his show, Ben Schwartz and Friends, he does long form improv. Look on YouTube for Ben Schwartz and Friends. You'll die laughing, and I'm sorry that you'll die, but you will. But Ben has also been the most humble, most considerate person. When I saw the first movie back a few years ago, I put out a thing on Twitter saying, I just saw the movie, I think it's fantastic what they did, and I think Ben Schwartz is just godlike for doing what he did with these fits perfectly with Sonic the Hedgehog. And he was the first one to comment on that post and said, it's such an honor to play this character and carry the Sonic torch alongside you, and I'm glad to be a part of this family, this franchise. He's just a sweet, sweet, sweet guy, and just fantastic at Sonic. So couldn't hope for anyone better.
So just a little simple question, between the four of you, what would you say would be your favorite Sonic stage? This week in the Sonic modern graphics you have.
Favorite Sonic stage? Oh wow. It's like Sophie's Choice. I'm gonna go ahead with have to be plastic. I say City Escape. And that's maybe because I live in San Francisco, so I get to see that every day. Yeah.
Yeah, I go back. It depends on the mood I'm in, which I change moods often, but it's either radical highway or just relaxing in the style zone.
He does have a good shot guard. Say, he'll get in for sure.
Green Hill Zone, because it's Green Hill.
There you have it. First of all, you look pretty.
Really, really.
Look very pretty today.
Put up there, happy, like your dream of meeting, boy.
Okay, here you go. Sorry.
So, put up there, happy, history of meeting, please.
Sorry. Maybe David can help out.
We have no stage lobby.
So we can't hear ourselves.
I'm sorry.
They were at the event. Possible if you could all go and say happy Black History Month.
Hey guys, happy Black History Month. Time for a knuckle sandwich and a celebration, man. I think we should celebrate Black History Month with $2 for everyone. Favorite piece of media outside of Sonic? Could be anything? Wow. Movies, music, video games. Wow. Who wants to tackle that?
UK Show 2 radio station. Got it.
Let's see. My favorite movie of all time is The Exorcist, the original Exorcist. So I'm a big horror movie fan. So anything horror movies that come out, I'm all about that. It relaxes me. You have a favorite video?
Okay. No, I'm not a big video game guy. I love pretty much all types of movies, all genres of television. I'm a big fan of pretty much any kind of music. Yeah, I'm pretty much, wow. I love everything. I love you.
I love that. I love you. I think in the world we live in now, I love watching things on YouTube that from a long time ago, but I also love to binge watch something. Like I think our collective minds don't want to wait a week anymore, so I really love watching something from start to finish. So I really get into like zoning out and binge watching something in my own time. I get into that.
I do love something, I realize, I love commercials, and I know nobody likes commercials anymore, but I love all the popular songs that go into commercials and they change the lyrics. Oh, something, you know.
What's wrong with you? I need whiskey.
Which line was the hardest, or just two people who have been trying to?
The hardest or most annoying line we had to perform.
Probably the easiest ones, the ones that we would do at the very end when I was completely exhausted and they wanted me to jump. And it was half Japanese, half English. And I'm like, they're like, no, that's not it. And they said it. And I'm like, I'm going to repeat exactly what you said. No, that's not it. Get out, David.
I'm going to piggyback on that because it was all oftentimes with the Japanese team, they wanted you to physicalize. So if they would say, they want you to say, and you would voice match. You'd go send them, I'd say, I'd say it 10 times, and I'd be like, what am I not doing right? And I'd go, wait, they're going, and as soon as you do that, the entire room would go, yes. Because they wanted to actually see you do that. But my personal answer is anything that was really yelling. David and I at the time, we were singing 8 shows a week of a show that was almost completely sung through, and Ryan ended up doing it as well. So that was the hardest thing, any of the really yelling things, knowing that I still have to sing 8 shows a week in the middle of making the games. Those are the hardest for me.
During Sonic X, when I was very stubborn, I had a case of laryngitis, which I've had before. I said, this will be gone in a week. 2 months later, it hadn't gone anywhere. And I realized that there was a challenge of doing the in Sonic X. So if you listen carefully to one of the episodes where it's not sounding so great, the falsetto laughing was actually a son laughter by the name of Dan Green. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be secret, but I figured it out, and that's everything.
Wow, I'm trying to think of the most annoying one that I ever did. Yeah, I think, and I told this story before too. I think there was one time when I had to make what are called emotives, which sounds like if you fall off something and hit the ground, that's an emotive. If you take damage, that's an emotive.
That's somebody.
And I had to climb a ladder. And so I was doing what I thought Sonic would sound like climbing a ladder, which is. And all of the Japanese producers said, no. Are you? And luckily, our director was just like, we don't do that in America. When we climb ladders, we just kind of make normal noises. We don't, So luckily, we were like, oh, okay, that's fine. But sometimes that was a little bit of a challenge when you have completely different cultures trying to agree on what a line should sound like. They're giving directions to the party afterwards.
This is like an introduction to the game.
Was there anything we recorded that was too edgy or too dark? I don't know if this is too edgy or too dark, but they would also always have you do kind of one for yourself, a version, or they want you to do a big over-the-top version. And for me, one, I think it's more popular with the fans than what actually made the game. We ended up with a more subdued boost. But the wild line that people love more, and then they were like, maybe too much is whoa, a ghost. And that makes the rounds on YouTube a lot. I actually kind of like that version of it because it's so silly ridiculous. I think the darkest line that Sonic ever recorded, but this goes for all the Sonic actors, is look out! We talk about dark. I spent many a dark moment with them.
I'm often given the choice after 2 or 3 takes to sometimes make my own choice. And my choices are often very bizarre. They make me laugh. But the director just, yeah, I could go with number 3, after number 4. Thank you.
They wanted Shadow to be dark, so they never said to me, no, that's way too good.
Anything that was cut? Oh, probably lots. That's the great thing about digital recording. You can just do as many takes as you want. And sometimes they would ask for your input on what do you think Sonic would say at this point? Like in the later games, like say Sonic Heroes, I did get some input on what Sonic would say. And it was just whatever I kind of come up with at the moment, and I'm sure some of it made it in the game and some of it didn't. I can't really remember which ones I kind of came up with and which ones were on the page already. So it's kind of hard to say, but I'm sure that we probably got some kind of additive things in the game. Yeah. Favorite piece of music from the Sonic franchise? I'm a big dude. I like Live and Learn. It's my favorite. Always has been.
The theme to Sonic X, because I watched it.
I have a tie and we're so opposite. Live and Learn and Humphrey. Again, like I said before, I love all music, so it's all, I don't get it. Coffee. That's very kind of you. One really cool thing about doing what we do is that we get to go around this great country of ours and hear people just like you who the games really meant something to them as kids. And now they're grown adults, but they still hang on to those things because those are the things that matter to us. And I've said it a million times and I'll say it again, we all have those things. Like if Big Bird from Sesame Street walked in this room, I would be a puddle on the floor. Because Big Bird is my guy when I was this high, right? Yeah, you too. And so we, I'll just speak for everybody. I think we feel very collectively lucky that we got to be a part of a franchise that means so much, not just to people because they had a good time, but we get to hear stories about how Sonic helped people get through dark times, right there, right? About how people were bullied in school and Sonic taught them to be brave. They had difficult home lives and Sonic was an escape. We get to hear stories like that all the time, every weekend, wherever we go. And it's a constant reminder that you never know how what you're going to be a part of will affect other people. The ripple effect. We were just voicing a video game. We had no idea that Sonic and all the characters in the Sonic world were helping people the way they were. So you never know what's going to mean something to someone on a completely cellular level. And we are very, very honored that something that we had a part of could help you through a dark time in your life. What's your name? What's your name? Yeah. Nancy? I'm Nanska. I'm going to find you and give you the greatest. And he gave me that up. So. That's not a promise. That's correct. Why was Sonic and Shadow talking over?
Why are you talking over each other?
It was probably the editor. I don't, since we recorded it separately, and that happens a lot for those of you who don't know. Almost always, 99% of the time, you record separately from other characters. Even if you have scenes with people, you're usually recorded separately. In fact, I don't know if this is true or not. I've never actually looked into it, but it doesn't matter if it is. What I heard was, is that if you remember the movie Shrek, allegedly, Eddie Murphy and Mike Myers met for the first time at the premiere of the movie. And if you watch that movie, you go, there's no way. They have this straight back and forth, and they have all these scenes together, completely recorded separately. If you watch, like, say, Family Guy, Seth MacFarlane does half the voices on that show, so you know he does scenes with himself. It's all recorded separately. So if we talk, in that scene where we talk over each other, it was probably just what the editor decided to do, because everything, I never saw David during that session, and he never saw me. It was just how they decided to upload those files in it.
Yeah, I think the editor got into my whiskey and was having trouble.
I think it's the same engineer who do it now.
Hey, guys.
Hey,
So, easy question. We already got Shadow's answer. But you got this video game here. Is there any video games y'all like to play on the
video games we like to play on the off time that we haven't done voice record?
Yeah.
Like, what's our video game obsession?
You just at home,
Yeah.
sit down, you know,
Oh, I got two, if I can just go first. I'm an addict of video pinball. I'm a huge pinball guy, so like, you can find me playing video pinball. Every single plane I get on, I'm playing video pinball. And also recently, my son got me into Block Blast. Block Blast is addictive and the devil, and I love it. It's so fun. Yeah, so that's my addiction.
Okay, I don't play games now, but back when I was a kid, when they had arcades in the mall, I played trivia whiz. That's how geeky I am. And the thing about trivia whiz is it's all multiple choice and a very small pool of questions and answers. So after we dropped off at the mall, I remembered all the questions and answers and basically rose to the top of the leaderboard by memorizing all the questions and answers. No, loser.
When I was over the arcade, my favorite game was Tempest. I think because I was actually decent at it. I don't play video games because I'm not very good. Any racing game I would love to try to play, Forza, anything like that. I tried to play, my son play, they tried to get me on. We play a lot of Madden, and I suck at that too.
Need more whiskey.
I like me some Mario Brothers, definitely. And I'm also really interested on two levels, the Sonic franchise, just to experience the games after us, but also to hear the different voice actors and what they're bringing to the role. So I'm fascinated by the whole world of that.
It is fun. Thank you. Love you too, brother. If you could switch to voice another character in the Sonic franchise, who would it be and why?
Knuckles, because I already
You're right.
I feel like I have to say Shadow though, right?
In Sonic X, probably the television's Andrew Wright, voice for Goofy. And he can just do that voice. I can't do that, but I wish I could. That's quite scary.
I always loved Big the Cat. And it's funny because I was telling a story to a friend earlier. John St. John, who's a brilliant voice actor who does Big the Cat, historically hates the voice of Big the Cat. And that's because when he was hired, because he's got so much experience and he was friends with the director, he was hired to work on the Sonic franchise, and he didn't know what he was going to do. He just knew to come in and be ready to do anything. And so they said, okay, you're going to be Big the Cat. And he was like, okay. And they were just like, so he's big and he's oafish and he likes to fish and, you know, all these things they gave him. Yeah, exactly. And so then John St. John was like, oh, do you want to be a super boy baby? Okay. And they were like, yes, we love that voice. And he was like, no, it's just screwing around. I don't want to do that voice. And they were like, no, that's perfect. That's what we want. So unfortunately, John St. John does the most brilliant Big the Cat, and he hates it.
But I always had a soft spot for Big the Cat because I also like my Froggy, and so I would like to be Big the Cat. What do I think about Silver the Hedgehog? Yeah, he's all right. I love him.
We love Pete Capella and we love the character, so love, nothing but love, yeah.
Yeah, I hope he ends up in the fourth movie. And I hope they get Pete Capella to do that. I'm just putting it out there. Please hire Pete Capella to do Silver. No one else can do it better than he can.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, he's not my favorite.
How was your experience voices
Metal Sonic was fun because I had done Sonic for so long, and I've done Sonic now for 27 years, believe it or not. So I always enjoy things that are way different than Sonic. So I really enjoyed doing Metal Sonic because it was just something different that I could do. And as a voice actor, you always kind of love to do different things. It just keeps you entertained. So Metal Sonic was always really fun. And I had no idea that people were going to love Metal Sonic so much. I thought he was just going to be this fun side character. But Metal Sonic has a huge following. And so I'm really honored to be able to provide that voice. Yes, that's true. In fact, I had people this weekend that said, wait a minute, you voice Metal Sonic? They didn't know. So it's kind of a secret that if you know, you know. It's a secret, don't tell me. I think we have time for like 2, 3 more. What advice would you have for newcomers to vote? People who want to do voice? I'm sure we got some good answers. Mike, you want to go first?
The key word is active. Get theater experience, school theater, community theater, professional training if you have some generous relative to underwrite that. And then once you have the basic acting skills, find a voiceover coach to focus on the voiceover part. And the specific skill sets that are needed for that. And they'll teach you how to make a demo and for that purpose and how to market it. And then you cross your fingers and help good people like you.
Save some money and get a therapist. Because there are a lot of people who are going to say no. No. Next. No. Next. And then you'll get a yes. And that's what you want. But you have to go through all the no's to get anywhere. So you have to have tough skin. Just hang in there. Keep putting yourself out. You will get there. You just have to put in the work, put in the time, put in the energy, put in the love. And you'll be there.
That actually is true of voiceover actors and acting in general, is that a voice actor's job is not to voice act. A voice actor's job is to audition. Because auditioning is what you do day in and day out, over and over and over. And the statistic is still probably true that for every 50 things, that's 50, that you audition for, you book one job. So that means you have to hear no 49 times before you hear one yes. And so you have to get right with that in your head. And usually people who get into the biz get out of it very quickly because it's painful. And you don't want to hear, no, I didn't like that. No, you're not very good. I don't think you're very talented. But that's what happens day in and day out. So it's kind of like Michael Sherlock said in his famous book Audition, only do this for a living if this is the only thing that you can do. If you can do something else, do that. But if you would do it for free because you love it so much, then maybe it's the job for you. But getting right with auditions is probably the most important thing. It's the thing you'll do more than anything else.
And I echo all what they're saying. Acting is everything, right? You have to know the craft of acting. Improv is also great because that gets you doing it the same way, saying it the same way. But on top of it, for me, this is life lessons versus just I want to be famous. The 3 P's to succeeding in the world, truly in a going order: be kind, 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 kind. Be kind to everybody that you come in contact with. We will all collectively agree doors open because of the kindness, and they close forever if you are hard to work with, if you are difficult, if you are pain in the butt. The drama should be on the stage again, right? Be kind. The next thing is be prepared. Remember, most artists are very, very lazy. If you're not lazy, there's a lot of work to be had. And if you're prepared, that frees you up of the I don't know what I'm doing nerves. So be prepared. And the last one is gets to be harder as you get to be older. You start to think about what people think about us. Remember, when you have your moment, whether it's an audition, a performance, there is no one special like you. So walk into that room, step in front of that mic, and be fearless.
All right, guys, we're out of here. The convention is shutting down.
We have to do speed round because we actually have to get back to our tickets contractually. So super quick questions with quick answers.
If you ask the sentence, we'll answer in 2 words.